Hello folks, welcome to GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. I'm playing, I'm still having fire problems over here. I am playing the Agrarian Skies mod pack, which is available on the FTB launcher. And I'm up to episode 11. So, last time I had finished setting myself up these pressers. You know what? I'm going to put a block on top of that. That'll keep fires from happening. That seems like a great idea. Fire. Out. Slabs. A pretty stone slab, I guess. There. Solves that problem. Good. Oh, anyway. Last episode, I had set myself up these pressers to get myself soybeans into soy milk and soft tofu, and then these pressers to make firm tofu out of them. And so, after the last episode, what I did was I set up a couple of recipes. I set up the hamburger recipe with firm tofu and toast, cheeseburger, hamburger and cheese, the bacon cheeseburger, cheeseburger and tofu, the bacon mushroom burger, the bacon cheeseburger with mushrooms, and I added a couple other things. I did these while it was crafting. And what was it crafting? Well, you can probably tell by looking at these recipes over here, the bread and toast. It took it a little bit of a while, but... Oh, burger. Because it's not a cheeseburger anymore, it is a deluxe bacon mushroom burger. The reason that I had it make 1,000 of them is right here in Hell's Kitchen. There's a quest for not so fast food, 1,000 bacon mushroom burgers. So I figured that one was within my reach, and it looked like it was. So, where is my QDS? I actually want to know how to make a QDS just for grins. What's the recipe for the quest delivery system? Recipe is the quest book in the middle, and the quest book is made of any book and string. Okay, good to know. So, and of course there should be no recipes for any of the reward bags. That's what I wanted to hear. Good. And the rotten heart? Good. That's what I wanted. Okay, now, so we've finished a pretty big quest here. So it's time for me to turn it in. I think I'm just going to set this down right here. I'm going to select task. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to grab myself an export bus. I just need a basic export bus. And a burger. All I need is one. Let's grab that bus. There's my export bus. And I'm just going to set up an export bus on the QDS and tell it to give it cheeseburgers. Put this last one in here and take a look at my burgers. You'll notice tick, 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 cheeseburgers, burgers going away. And this is 3% done. So, while that's doing its thing, I'm going to show you some other changes. I moved my water source into the floor. I figure it's a little more efficient that way. Let me see. Ah, yes. I expanded this platform this way. I connected a couple of more sprinklers, and I set myself up a little bit of a lettuce farm. Again, the reason for that is, if I go out here, there is a leafy greens request for 50,000 heads of lettuce. That's going to take a while. And a surf and turf, which is a leafy fish sandwich, which requires lettuce. And I'm not sure which other of these might require lettuce, but I figured if I'm going to need to do 51,000 lettuce, might as well give myself an entire farm for it. And it's ticking along just fine. This farm is still doing exactly what it's supposed to. It's basically making most of the ingredients that I need for my actual day-to-day food, not my quest-related food. You'll notice this is full of lettuce seeds. That makes me happy. And I can go check my system and find out how many lettuce I have. How much done? 23%. Nice. 22 actual lettuce, and that's how much lettuce seed has ended up in here instead of in the other system. So, now, there are two major projects that I would like to tackle sometime soon. The first is, I'm really tired of living effectively on cobblestone in with no roof above me, no safety around me, and no aesthetics. So, I'm going to take a little bit of time this episode and try to do that. And second, I think it's, as much as I enjoy bringing gunpowder over here and loading into my gunpowder-powered power delivery systems, I really think it's time to begin at least thinking about what other options we have. And along those lines of thinking, I realized that over here in Go With The Flow, there are quests for ethanol, and where's the other one? And I guess it was only ethanol. So, if I can make ethanol, which obviously I can, otherwise they wouldn't be requesting it, that must mean Oop. I don't know. Oh, that was weird. Okay, so ethanol is definitely makeable. What is the recipe for that ethanol? We can distill biomass. We can make biomass in the fermenter using any of the saplings, and looks like just about anything else that can be classifiable as plant material. There are pages and pages and pages of this stuff. At the moment I'm only seeing saplings. I wonder if it'll get to stuff like potatoes. If not, I can still guarantee you I can harvest a bajillion saplings. No, it looks like it's almost exclusively saplings, yep. And not even any of the mariculture saplings while we're at it. Okay, well, that basically means that I'm going to need, if I'm going to use the fermenter, I need honey. Yep. Or I guess I could work with water. That's going to produce me 0.75, and if I'm working with honey, which is probably a whole bunch of pages down here before that starts. Oh, this is fruit juice. That'll add about 75% to my production values. Still fruit juice. I know I can make fruit juice. And finally, honey. Wow, honey cuts it down a lot. It's very interesting. So, I think what I'm going to end up doing is using fruit juices, which I can make from some of these mariculture trees. So, basically, I'm going to begin setting up a farm of some kind to begin farming some of these, because I'm going to need them for smoothies, and I think that they're a very good idea for making fruit out of. Yep, I've got plenty of eggs, good. And begin thinking about turning that into biomass, and then into biogas, which I can use to run engines, and later I could submit for a quest. So, today is going to be about slightly better housing, and about production of fuel so that I can move away from using gunpowder. Or maybe not move away from, but at least supplement it. So, I'll be back once I have some idea what it is that I'd like to build my new house out of. So, just so that everyone knows, it seems like there's a little bit of a glitch when it comes to using an export bus to fill a QDS, because I only ended up getting about 900, and I know that I had 1,000 in the system. So, about 10% of my, or about yeah, about 10% of my burgers didn't get counted. So in the future, what I intend to do is put a hopper on top and export into the hopper. I think that that will almost guarantee that things work a little bit better. So I'm manually smelting up some dough, I'm manually cooking it into some bread, and I've got the system attempting to make another 100 burgers. We'll see how well that works out. Well, here we go, folks. That quest is complete, claiming my reward. Go ahead and grab full lives, and I've got 2 reward bags. Let's see what I get. 16 mariculture pearl oysters, and a whole bunch of crystal clusters from Thaumcraft. That's actually going to be absolutely wonderful when it comes to Thaumcraft research. I find it very interesting that I got 8 entropy clusters and 1 of each of the others, but that's fine. The mixed crystal cluster makes up for all. So I'm going to take those and toss them in here. I'm going to have to look up the mariculture pearls and see if I can figure out what that's about. But I'm sure that they're going to be useful, because I'm pretty sure if those are placed underwater, those will make pearls. So anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit once I have that figured out, and like I said, once I figure out what home is going to look like. Hello, folks. So I made a bit of a decision on what it is that I would like to build my house out of, and one of the ingredients involves clay. So I'm going to use stained clay of a couple of different colors. So I'm setting myself up a little bit of a clay production facility. What I did was I stole the extra sand that's has been up until now pumping into this barrel back here. I've set myself up 1 extra pulverizer, and it's busy making dust, which, as we know from earlier, if we take dust and feed it into one of these barrels, which, let me fix that. Nope, I want to fix there. Let's see, is this outputting dust? Can't tell. It doesn't seem to be at the moment. Oh, that's because I haven't switched this to output yet. Yep, that number went down. Dust is now coming out of here. In just a moment, we should see some drop in here. Yep. So now this is going to make clay. This aqueous accumulator is going to fill it up. Now it's just a matter of grabbing me some servos and another barrel. Let's see, 5 of them. Make 10. No such thing as too many servos for me. Okay, maybe if I made 10,000. And better barrel by Java. And here we go. I think, considering I'm already sort of clogged up at this end, I'm going to go here. 1 servo, out. I need a blank hand. Oh. Ignore. Two more. Servo. Ignore. Wrench 'em. And the last 2. Bing, bang. I really like setting up this, 2 production lines next to each other. It allows me to use a much smaller number of item ducts to pull things out. It allows me to use a much smaller number of servos to accomplish that. It just generally seems like it's a very good way. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to have to use more item duct than I originally thought. That's fine. I'm only using 2 more than I originally planned to. Okay, so now we connect all these up. So these will all produce clay. Then this is going to come over here. I'm going to come up 1. I'm going to come forward. And I always put into barrels from the top. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I am 100% sure it's not necessary, so why don't I just not waste in that case. So, if I'm correct, what should happen is clay should get sucked out of these barrels any moment now. Let me manually pull one and set this barrel as a definite valid destination for clay. See if the rest of these clays come popping out. They do not. Maybe I do need to go in the top. Nothing's happening. Let me just take a minute and verify some things. Here, I pull solids out of the bottom of a barrel. Here, I pull liquids out of the top of a barrel. Here, I pull solids out of the bottom of a barrel. I wonder if, perhaps, I need to rearrange this slightly to pull solids out of... Then I pull liquids out of the side of a barrel. Perhaps I need to load my liquids in from the side and pull my solids out of the bottom. So I'm going to rearrange this. I'll be right back. Okay, test run done. Clay is being produced and arriving in these barrels. So I'm going to run some fluid ducts around to the end, like so, and down through the middle. Which will get me water to all the barrels, and now I just need the other 5 servos that I made. Finally, and come over here, load these 5 up. I may have a little bit of a difficulty getting to the fittings with a wrench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. And then set those 5 to ignored. Oops. Whacking on the barrel just pulls the clay out for me. Here we are. So now I have automatic clay gen. It's made 58, 59, 60. As you see, it's just ticking up pretty quick there. This pulverizer is basically full of sand and dust, and it's going to feed these 10, which are going to feed this barrel, which will allow me to make some of the building materials that I need for my base, because what I've decided is that blue stained clay and white stained clay look kind of nice next to each other, and I've also sort of decided that quartz, specifically nether quartz, when made into a block of quartz, and then, what's the recipe for that again? Uses for blocks of quartz. I want the pillar quartz block, which involves 2 of them. So let me teach my system how to make them, since it's going to be making them by the hundreds at least. Encode. Good. Pillar quartz block, encode, good. Those are the 2 patterns that I need. Yes, I know it's a little unusual to choose to use these quartz, but they look pretty. So, I'm going to be working with, let's make 100 of those. I'm going to need to increase the speed of the CPU on this also, so relatively soon I'm going to be doing CPU surgery, probably at the point that I move my crafting CPU from here into the new house. Let's say 50 should be plenty. Now, clay. I want to make blue stained clay. The recipe for that is hardened clay, which involves smelting my clay in a redstone furnace. Now, I could theoretically use my existing furnaces, but quite frankly, I use them for a lot of things. I guess I could steal this one, but there's no point. I can make more furnaces. Let's go ahead and produce ourselves. Do I have any bricks? Plenty. Good. I already actually have a redstone furnace made. Easy. Now, I'm on another barrel. Okay. And what do I need in terms of servos? Again, let's make 10. They craft so quickly, and they are so valuable. I can put these quartz blocks back for the moment. Dust, sand. Good. Now, I've got power lines over here. I've got my clay being sucked out over there, but I don't need it to, because I have a connection right here. So let's do this. I'm going to put an item duct connection here, which will connect these two lines at this end for speed. And then, let's see, that's using both of them. I'm going to use up 2. So, I'm going to put power out to here. And then I'm going to face my furnace this way. I'll show you why. This furnace is going to import from the back and export to the side. And now, I don't know. Again, I still haven't proven whether I can import from barrels from the side, but I'm going to go ahead and just plain try. I would like a better barrel here, please. And I'd like you and you to be dug up so that I can connect this to here. Now, blue is an import. Orange is the export. Theoretically, this just became a valid destination for clay. Yep, some of my explosions occasionally get through, that's fine. And just to make sure that it's a valid destination for clay, I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. Okay, now, we've got clay cooking into here, and it looks like it's coming into here just a little bit faster than the system's capable of producing it, and it is going ahead and putting it in this barrel over here. Nice, I like that. Yep, making it faster than I can cook it. So now I have myself the capability of just putting down an item duct and getting myself some more clay. In fact, if the system is making it faster than it can get it, here's what I'm going to do. That just became the destination of last resort. So any spare clay that this system produces is going to end up in this barrel, but most of the clay it produces is going to end up in this furnace, and that's going to cook into this. So I need 16. That'll be ready in just a couple more seconds. There's 15. There's 16. Now I'm going to mock up real quick what this area that I intend to make is going to look like, so that you all can vision it. Envision it. Wow. That just sounded awfully heck. So, I need 8 white stained clay, and 8 blue stained clay, and quartz pillar blocks, and let's see, quartz glass. And while I'm at it, when I teach the system to make quartz glass, what do I have the most of for quartz dust? I'm pretty sure that I've pretty intentionally been using nether quartz dust because I have so much nether quartz and it's so easy to use, but this time I think I'm going to use the Certus for it. Let's see. I want quartz glass, and I'm going to tell it to do it exclusively using Certus quartz dust, so that makes that. And then occasionally I'm going to want some of this vibrant glass. So let's encode that as well. Let me make 2 of those. Okay. That gives me the basic building materials that I intend to make the inside of my house with. So I'm just going to mock up a quick little, like, this is how I intend my house to look kind of thing. Okay. That's going to be my flooring. And then one. Nope, that's not how I want it. I'm going to have to knock these out in a minute, but that's fine. Okay. Now, like so. Might as well just for grins. That completes that layout. And then one of the nice things that I've learned about quartz glass and vibrant quartz glass, they texture together. So the only way you can tell that this is a vibrant block is that all this area is lit. And that I like. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, that's absolutely perfect in terms of quality lighting setups. We'll grab some more quartz glass real quick. 3, please. So, there you go. There's a rough mock-up. Up above, I intend to continue the pillar. I intend to go up 2 more before I build myself a roof. That just gives you a rough idea of how I intend to lay out my new house, what the walls and interior are going to look like, and why I'm bothering to make so much clay. So, I'm going to spend a little while and let a whole bunch of clay cook up and begin building my platform. Hey, look, we have over a stack already. That's really nice. And clearly we have a whole bunch more clay here. I'm actually going to take 2 bricks of it, take it over here and feed it through my manual system. Triple my output for a short period of time. So yes, I'm going to cook up clay and do some staining and do some platform creation, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, folks, so I think I've got at least the basic basement of my structure laid out right here. Let me show you what I've got. Now, I'm building my basement out of obsidian. As you can see, I've got some of it in my inventory, and obviously I've got an igneous extruder working on making some more. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm paranoid, frankly. I really like the idea that my entire base has an obsidian box around it. especially given that I'm going to be playing on a Skyblock map, and I've got, frankly, Jaded Cat as the mod pack, the map designer, and a lot of the little thises and that's, and certainly a driving force behind almost everything. And well, as I've said before, my understanding is she's a very sweet girl who's just a little sadistic, and that's fine, frankly. Video games are about challenges. Those video games that are purely sandbox with absolutely nothing to do, like Minecraft in the beginning, they have to add challenges of one kind or another. So most people don't play for long periods of time on peaceful because it's boring. Adding mobs, adding danger, adding some form of risk is mostly what makes the game interesting when you're all done with it. At least that's my opinion. A lot of people will disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm a big enough boy to handle things being people disagreeing with me. So, anyway. Now, I'm making the safety around my base. I'm making a basement so that when I decide to run power cables or AE cables or whatever else it is that I might need underneath, that I've got it covered, that's not an issue. So, let's go ahead and finish out the basement, and then I can come over here and show you what I've sort of been designing in terms of my flooring and my wall and that sort of thing. Have I mentioned the Builder's Wand? One of my favorite toys. It makes the construction of things like this so much faster. Let's go ahead and fill this stuff in, and that. And now I can get to work on the floor. Now, there is a little bit of a bunker mentality. Oop, looks like I've run out of that brick. That's fine. There is a little bit of a bunker mentality in how I design these things, but I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, and I intend to make it quite pretty on the inside. The only place where there's liable to be any exposed obsidian whatsoever is these two blocks, so we say the pillars at the entrance to my base. You know, I think for consistency's sake, I'm going to move them. Yeah, that'll be just fine. As you can see, it takes a bit of time still to mine obsidian, even with my, manual and pickaxe head. By the way, I'd like to point out to you guys that I've been using this manual and pickaxe for a long time, and I'm still clumsy with it, but it's taken almost no damage, which is really nice. Now, before I walk away from here, I either have to make sure that it is daytime, or that I've put down some form of torches, but that's fine. Again, these are, the disadvantages of building in a map where monsters can spawn just about any time and just about anywhere, is that you've got to pay attention to the fact that monsters can spawn just about any time and just about anywhere. So, yeah, that's a thing. So let's see, I think I'm going to put my obsidian pillars right here, and here, and that allows me to continue a bit of a theme that I intend to continue throughout this build, which is wherever I am putting purple clay on the inside, I intend to put obsidian block on the outside, which is why the room is lined up so that purple clay can reach the corners, because I intend these corners to be completely filled with obsidian. Like that. It means my house is going to look quite a lot different from the outside than it does from the inside. Oop. I gotta be careful about placing obsidian, of course, because it's really annoying to break. So, I'm going to spend just a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to go get myself my first windows, partially because they're part of my lighting solution, and then I will come back and show you how that's going to look. So, I'll be back in another couple minutes. Okay, folks, so I have my lighting solution here. and my glass solution. Let me show you how I intend to lay this out. Now again, I'm making the outside of this building hardened. I actually wanted to show you a little bit. I left room for expansion over here. I'm not going to clad this side in obsidian. That means that when I need to expand my house, I can do so in that direction relatively easily. I don't expect there to be any explosions coming from this direction, in comparison with the possibility of them coming from here being somewhat higher. So, what am I going to do? First, I'm going to put hardened glass in each one of these window bays. That involves knocking these torches out, which does produce areas where there isn't enough lighting. So, I'm not going to put all of them in yet. Instead, I'm going to show you what I'm doing about the lighting issue. I'm going to start at the lower left-hand corner of every set and put myself in some vibrant quartz glass, which is light producing. Let me show you the recipe for it, just so that you have seen it. What is the recipe for vibrant quartz glass? Well, it's a piece of quartz glass with 2 glowstone dust on it. And the recipe for the quartz glass is, again, glass and Certus dust. And it basically, or nether quartz dust, but I'm using the Certus dust at the moment, which is basically makes 4 out of 4, using 5 dust. Very easy. So, I don't need hardened glass here, so I'm just going to put the vibrant quartz glass in the bottom left-hand corner of each one of these window bays. I think I brought enough glass. It looks like I may be short 1 vibrant quartz glass. That's okay. And then the nice thing is that it connected textures with the quartz glass. And if you look, this one sparkles, these ones don't. That's the only way you can really, that and Wayla, the only 2 ways you can tell which one is your lighting source. But nonetheless, that leaves you with your entire area lit and a relatively pretty window. Now, I still want my hardened glass on the outside on these sides. This does involve some jumping up and down, but at this point, I've got food pretty well solved. I can make the best of meals, supreme pizzas and the like, pretty much at a click. So, I don't mind wasting some of it to jumping, especially in the process of building my house. So now you have a pretty good idea how I intend to lay this out, and quite frankly, how well bunkered and armored my house is from most directions. So I'm going to finish this up and go get myself my necessary, my last necessary vibrant glass, since I clearly miscounted, and I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, folks, so in the middle of this process, I realized that I was missing one of the ingredients that I wanted for the correct cosmetics of what I'm going to construct. And so I came down here to the little bunker I had built earlier, and I'm, shall we say, appropriating a piece of it for a different purpose. Namely, it's time for me to make me a squid farm. I've been wanting to for a while, just never got around to it. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and jump down in here, which is going to make a whole bunch of, spots where monsters can spawn, but that's fine. So, I'm going to do my best to make this a smooth water environment. By doing that, and then repeating it on the next level up, and doing it again the level after that. My reasoning is, I would really prefer that these squid not have any sort of turbulence sucking them down to the bottom, if only because that doesn't sound like, a pleasant way to live. And so by carefully building effectively from the top down, I produce myself a current-free water pool that's not going to drag the squid to the bottom, nor, frankly, if I go swimming in it, not going to drag me to the bottom. There we go. Now the water fills the pool, and I have myself a nice container for a squid farm. And I'm going to light the corners of it just because, well, if I were a squid, I would want a well-lit pool, especially given how many monsters appear on this map. Doo-doo-doo. Well lit on the corners. And finally, I'm going to grab these 7 squid spawn eggs that I have and sort of get the party started. Now, right here I have myself a tesseract, which is going to be connected to main power, which will feed this here rancher. The rancher should output its items to this chest, which I should then be able to pull out of this chest using this here pneumatic servo, which should be set to ignore. And all of that should allow me to get ink sacs. I want this set to sending fluid and items, receiving power. Let's check the rancher. Is it operating? It seems to have collected itself a spice leaf, which it does not seem to be outputting to this chest. So, let me reconfigure this a little bit. I brought a couple of extra item ducts just for this sort of purpose. I've not worked with a rancher recently, so I'm not 100% sure how they configure themselves. Why don't you give me back that servo? I'll reconnect this. Now let's see if that works with no effort. Does not. Servo. That wasn't what I wanted. Move my wrench back again. Now, that seems to be pulling things out of the rancher, which does its work very quickly, seems to idle up easily. Now let me take a look in my tank and see what my squid are doing. They're all just sort of bopping around in there. So they all seem to be hanging out on the bottom. I wonder if I'm actually getting any squid ink. Let's go upstairs and find out. Ranchers should milk squid for ink, though I'm not 100% sure it's on the right level. I have 93 ink sacs already. I guarantee it's on the right level and all is well. So, now, why did I do that? Well, stained clay comes in a whole bunch of colors, but one of the ones that I really want is black. Let's get myself 3 stacks of those. Put the water back. I don't need my item ducts. I don't need the empty buckets. Done with my wrench for a while, etc. And I'm going to leave that here because I may very well need that recipe again soon. So, eat a pizza. So nice to be able to fill up half my hunger all at once. Done. And head up here to my house, which is starting to look pretty good. I'm going to knock these torches down on the inside just to get some idea of what sort of light coverage I get. And it looks like there's one spot currently, a collection of spots in the middle of the room that aren't getting light from that. So I'm going to have to come up with a secondary lighting solution, but that's fine. It covers most of the room. If I hadn't been quite so picky about getting a 3-1-3 pattern all across the room, I probably could have gotten a slightly better lighting coverage, but I'm not actually complaining. So, blue stained clay should make an acceptable ladder. And now, let us build our layout. Now my intent, I want to just move the necessary things down here into my inventory so that I can easily get at them. Good. I'm continuing the pattern that I made below, because I happen to feel the patterns continued above the glass look good. Just a moment, folks. I know this isn't the most exciting watching, but I'd like to get it done so that you see what my next step is. And now, I intend to lay obsidian outside all of this. So because my outside is effectively obsidian and hardened glass, these three, not all four because I've left one open, but at least these three faces of this building, along with the bottom, because I put obsidian across the bottom, and frankly I intend to put obsidian across the top, along with maybe hardened glass for skylights. I haven't quite made that decision yet. I've basically produced an environment that's going to be basically impossible for any explosion, danger, creeper, whatever, to get in and to do damage to me and my house, which makes me happy. Unfortunately, oh good, the sun is rising. So, I'm going to build this up one more layer, and then it's time to get started on the roof. Be right back. I always hate doing my recording in the rain, but this is what it is. Wanted to show you the roof and my lighting solution, which is vibrant quartz glass. I think I'm going to go ahead and pretty a lot of this up and make it a lot more, I don't know, aesthetic, because at the moment all it really is designed to do is make sure that there's no issues with lighting on the roof. And let's see, does that, no, it still doesn't solve my lighting problem down here on the floor. Though perhaps if I, let's see, that's lined up between these pillars and right in the middle of this. Perhaps if I convinced, yeah, I think I'm going to put one more in the roof right there. And let's see if that clears up my lighting problem down here. And actually, because there, let's kill that, see if it works. Haha, lit up my entire room. Good. So now I'm going to go get some straight quartz glass and spend a little time trying to decide exactly how I want all of that laid out, and I'll be right back once I have basically completed the room layout. I'll be right back. What a beautiful thing. It just stopped raining. The sun is rising, and here I am completed with my roof, at least the upper portion. So, let's go ahead and seal our way back down through, creating my nice, well-sealed, danger-proof-ish house. See how that works. And the only thing I have left to do is to go ahead and place some quartz glass in these locations so they don't just look like recessed skylights, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Well, not exactly what I was going for. And you know what? I'm going to put a second vibrant quartz glass here because it's lighting up my lower area perfectly. So, let's see. Let's go tell the machine I need, let's see, 3, 5, 9, 12, 18. Let's make 20 more quartz glass. Let's see, it made 8. Let's make 20 more. And I know that's going to take some glass, which I'm pretty sure I'm basically out of. And so I'm going to jumpstart this process by taking a stack of sand over here and tossing it in there. You know what? While I'm at it, grab a stack of sand and toss it in here, so I know it's only doing it in small groups. And that'll basically guarantee that I have sand for whatever I need. I know I don't need purple. I'm probably out of my need for obsidian. There. That's plenty. So, it's a bit bunker-like, but it's home. It's nice having a safe home. I intend to set up, by the way, some pressure plates here and a door. Those of you who've seen my previous episodes know how much I like the obsidian pressure plate mod and its ability to make silent shrouded pressure plates. That'll allow me to get in and out of my house quickly and easily without having to make a lot of noise and without having to worry about opening and closing doors myself. You know, if we're going to automate things, we might as well automate everything, right? So, not there, there, thank you. So there we are. Ceiling made, interior made, expansion room available, and we got ourselves a pretty nice house here that we can move our equipment into relatively soon. So, just a sec. Let me take a look at the time and I'll be right back, folks. Well, it looks like we're up above the 50-minute mark, so I'm going to call that a completed episode. You saw me go through the process of making a pretty safe and stable house over here that's relatively attractive from the outside, despite its somewhat monolithic appearance, and the process of automating both the making and the baking of clay for various colorations. Well, you'll notice I'm not getting a lot of leftover clay, but that's just fine. All of my farms, my farm is not working like I would expect it to. It's running out of seeds. Interesting. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that between this episode and next. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this is all configured and working out, and it's just about time for me to begin moving my, you know what, I'm not going to run power lines in there, because that's a hole in my security. I'm going to do it for my ME system, but I'm not going to do it for power because it's time to use Tesseract. And next episode, I think I'm going to begin setting up the machinery that I need to make sure that when I start making biofuel, that it's rapid and efficient. So, I will see you guys next time. A little bit of an addendum, folks. Sorry about that. A little bit of an addendum. I wanted to point out that I haven't been running this for very long, and I have almost 2,000 ink sacs, so rather than have my system flooded by ink sacs, I am going to go downstairs and change the mode of this thing slightly. So just for reference, a 5x5x3 water pool that you toss 7 squid eggs into. I have no idea how many squid are even still alive down there. I don't really care at this point, but might as well break that connection because I have way too much squid ink already. I don't really have a good solid use for it, so this is going to still probably pull as many squid ink as it can fill in here, but that's just fine. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to shut this off. That'll stop delivering power. Once this finishes doing the work that it's got available, that'll be fine. So, and it's back to idle. Good. So, nothing to do here. Just a worth noting for people that this is an extraordinarily fast and efficient way of getting yourself a huge number of ink sacs. So if I can find out another use for ink sacs, I'll be very happy. So see you guys soon.